It is time now for all things current California politics. Joining me now, Rich Ehisen, editor-in-chief of Capital Weekly publication. Rich, nice to have you back. The recent polls for president, and I know you're going to go, it's so far off, 2028. Gavin Newsom polling much better lately as he has come out nationally fighting for his party. Kamala Harris is still in the mix. Neither have declared for president at this time. What do you make of the poll numbers? And we're going to put one particular poll up from 538.
Well, I mean, I think, yes, it is way too early. There's no real declared candidates. I think what's interesting, though, is that I think a lot of us here in California had maybe written Gavin Newsom off. Again, I've mentioned his disastrous podcast before, but I do think all of this has really played well for him, and not just against necessarily Kamala Harris, who I'm still very doubtful is going to run. But again,
is that good for Newsom if Harris drops out and drops out early? If you look at this poll here, Pete Buttigieg is in the mix a little bit there, but you see Newsom and Harris pretty much a dead heat. And then there's the rest. I'd be concerned if I'm Tim Walz there at the bottom with 4%. That's going to be a tough hurdle to jump for him.
Yeah, if you're polling in single digits, even this early, I would say that's probably very concerning. But remember, Jimmy Carter kind of came out of nowhere in 1976. We saw Barack Obama was not even somebody we were thinking about until the DNC convention. Bill Clinton kind of came out of nowhere.
Good point.
This can all change on a dime. It's still only 2025.
The governor has really stepped it up on social media against the president. J.D. Vance is in the crosshairs as well, accusing J.D. Vance of using eyeliner. Are you surprised by this? The governor has generally kept himself above the fray. What was the discussion, you think, in the Newsom office of we're going to get down to the level that the president, I mean, look at this, that the president is. We're going to fight fire with his fire. What's your take on this?
Well, the governor's communications staff, fairly young group of folks who I think really understand the power of social media. Much better than maybe some older goats like me do. His account, the @Governor Newsom gubernatorial account, has gained 500,000 followers in the last couple of weeks. A couple of his posts have got millions of views. I think they convinced the governor, look,
let's go for it.
This is a time when you can really recast the die here. And, he's savvy enough to say, okay, I maybe wasn't doing so well over here. Let's try this. And it's been a big hit for him.
It has been a splash. Locally in Sacramento, a lawsuit filed against Speaker Rivas. His brother also involved, Robert Rivas, is Speaker Rick Rivas, his brother, by Cynthia Moreno, who is a dismissed staffer. What's your take on this lawsuit? What do you think happened, and where do you think it's going to end up?
Well, full disclosure, Cynthia is a friend of mine, so I want to be very careful what I say here in terms of going any one direction, because I don't know the circumstances here. What I will say is this. I know all these people. Leah Lopez is very, well respected, and I will say there's always been a lot of questions about the role that Rick Rivas plays in Robert Rivas's speakership. I will also say that this is a really bad time for this to happen for Dems when they're really trying to gain a lot of traction with Prop 50, the redistricting thing. It's always a little Game of Thrones around leadership.
Oh, sure.
And I would have to think this is another one of those things where those who are not fond of the role Rick plays in the Speaker's office might have some real new ammo here, regardless of what happens with Cynthia's lawsuit.
And there may have been things that did happen, but difficult to prove. So it's not to say that something didn't happen, but proving it is a whole different thing.
All directions.
All directions. Thank you very much, Rich Ehisen, editor-in-chief of Capital Weekly publication.